Welcome to this new Addon Spotlight. In this Addon Spotlight we're going to look at the latest version of the Concorde, version 101. So the aircraft itself was released last week already, and now there has been an update which fixes several issues, or contains several improvements, right? Let's call it that way. So the first thing which they fixed is, I would say, the ADF and VR compasses are now animated, and the ADF needles are also corrected. Right, so ADF needles and VR, you will find them in this section of the aircraft, right? So be aware of that. Also, in addition to that, they added, I would say, a feature which now shows if you're flying from or to the beacon itself. That's the HSI to from flags added to the VR navigation, which is really nice because that's always handy to have. Then they fixed the ADI pitch animation. I'm not sure which one that is, to be honest. And they also improved the LOD01 external model. Also the LOD1, I have no clue what it is, but I'm just reading it from the release notes. In addition to that, they improved the emissiveness of the enhancements of the autopilot, right? So they made some changes to the autopilot. Which one is not clearly described here, so let's assume that they updated it. And then they updated the panel, right? So if we look at the panel here, but also if the for the panel for the flight engineer, in the earlier release, I would say the weathering was a little bit, I would say, too much maybe. So they reduced that, and you can clearly see it. Everything is now a little bit, I would say, cleaner compared to the initial release. The engine condition initiators are now animated, right? So the engine, let's say, that's over here. So they animated some pieces, which is good to see. And they improved the landing gear retraction animation, sorry. The stray polygons UV maps on fuselage fixed, not sure what it is. And in case of you're using the Air France registration, which was missing, you will now find it on the aircraft. The shot handle numbers corrected, parenting fixed, right? There were some issues with the shot handling numbers which were incorrectly displayed. And they also improved the step fuel switches off labels to be correct. And I think those are, I would say, if I'm correct, let me navigate. There's somewhere here, there were some issues with the, I would say, buttons which were incorrectly labeled for some reason. That's also one of the issues I spotted. And that's now fixed. The multiple switch whiz sounds are corrected or added, so they've now added some more sounds. And the FO turn slip phase has been corrected. In addition to that, what they did is a massive update for the information and instructions in both the manual but also in the checklist. So if you now go to the checklist, you can see several other options are also there, and they're described more, I'd say, in detail. If they were already very detailed, to be honest, but they now have a full flight in your checklist, so you don't need to have the manual next to you. You can simply use the checklist, but for most of us probably we prefer to have the manual also next to us. What has been added else? The checklist EPU switch errors position corrected, right? There was an issue, I think it was, I would say, here. That has now been fixed. There was an error in the manual which switched off the engine. I think it was lower maybe. Yeah, it was lower. That was, I thought it was this one, but it looks like they made a change to it. Well, let's see. And they have also added a multi-switch button interactive camera IDs added, so you can switch easily to the different cameras. And also the multiple MI indicators open, shut, in line have now been added. Open, shut, in line. Where can we see them? Well, let's figure out where those are, right? So in line. Maybe they're here. Here's a small error, as you can see. Inlets. Yeah, not sure if they're here. So I'm not sure where those buttons are located. That's of course when you already directly jump into creating a video. If a new update has been released and didn't read the full manual yet, but we will figure out where that is in a future video. Then if we look at the further refinements to the flight model, engines and other files, so let's say generic improvements, which is good. And they've got the apron.flt file, which has been modified and improved to enhance the cold and dark start procedures. So a lot of good improvements for this already great aircraft, right? Which again, you can buy it and the price isn't that high for, I'd say, an aircraft using or having all these details and all these systems. So if you want to download it, go or buy it, go to justflight.com and you can buy it there. Here ends this video where we looked at the latest additions and improvements for the Concorde. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you got questions or comments, then feel free to post them in the comment box below. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting, then make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.